In this video, I want to talk about a supplement that has been shown to decrease acne in multiple clinical trials. And in this study, they saw a total reduction of acne around 33% total. And this is a randomized controlled trial. This is basically at the top of the pyramid. The only thing better is a systemic review or meta-analysis of those randomized controlled trials. These are the best kinds of studies if you want to minimize bias and maximize the quality of evidence because of the whole study design. And if you don't know what this means, randomized means that they didn't choose who would be into each group, so it reduces the chance of bias and manipulation. Double blind means the participants and also the researchers, none of them know who the placebo group is, so again, this means that it's really hard to manipulate a study like this, and by design, you can't. And controlled trial means it had a placebo group, so the study was controlled. This is the best study design if you want to take into account all the confounding variables, and this is why it's the gold standard when it comes to scientific evidence. A lot of people on the internet, they will stick to expert opinions and mechanistic studies, but the randomized controlled trials is the ones that you should be paying attention to for the most part. So let's take a look at this study. So for 10 weeks, they took 45 participants with mild to moderate acne. And in one group, they took 2 grams of long-chain omega-3s. They didn't see any side effects. And here's how everything played out. So here's a full PDF. So basically, in the control group, nothing happened, which is a good sign because it's not going to interfere with the results. And if you look at inflammatory lesions and non-inflammatory ones, they both dropped. And if you look at overall acne severity, it dropped in both groups and the control group remained the same. And as you can see, the longer the study ran, the more benefits they saw from both groups. I personally only care about the omega-3s because most people, they already get too many omega-6s and not enough omega-3s, and they don't have an ideal omega-3 to 6 ratio. So omega-3s is what people should focus on for the most part. And all the p-values were below 0.05. So for all the values they tracked, there's an over 95% chance that the result wasn't a fluke and it was actually cause and effect. So if you have acne, you should try multiple things, but this is one of them that you should try. And even if you don't have acne, you should still supplement long-chain omega-3s because most people are deficient in omega-3 and they don't have enough for optimal levels. And omega-3s have multiple benefits. In this one, mechanistically, the reason they work is because they are anti-inflammatory. So acne is a primarily pro-inflammatory problem, and omega-3s are anti-inflammatory, so they helped when it comes to acne lesions. But again, even if you don't have acne, you should still supplement long-chain omega-3s. Although I will say that the studies, they mostly use fish oil, and that's what you will mostly see Amazon and at supermarket. But I think it's higher IQ to actually supplement with algae oil, even if it's double the price, even if it's more expensive, because you're not going to have the problem of lack of purity. And they do tests, of course, but with algae oil, the probability that you're going to have mercury or other heavy metals is basically 0 because of the way it's made. So I think it's more intelligent to supplement with algae oil rather than fish oil. And fish oil also has some cholesterol, although it's pretty insignificant. The main issue is the purity problem, which is fish oil and fish in general, it can have heavy metals. And so consuming something like that every single day, probably not a good idea. And I would say it's more prudent and more pragmatic to take algae oil daily instead of fish oil. And the quantities they use 2 grams, which personally I think is a pretty good dose. The benefits usually max out at between 1 to 2 grams. So 2 grams, it's at the upper limit of the Goldilocks zone for most people. And in this study, this wasn't a randomized controlled trial, so don't pay that much attention to it compared to the first one. But for example, they picked this case study, which I'm not the biggest fan of case studies because they usually pick the best examples. You can have a lot of participants and they will pick the best one, the most dramatic transformation. But still, here's a before picture of one participant before taking long-chain omega-3s, and here's the after. He still has a bunch of acne, so I wouldn't rely on it. I think you need a lot more than just omega-3 supplements to fix acne, but it's definitely something that helps. And the reason it helps is because of the anti-inflammatory pathway. Omega-3s, they decrease C-reactive protein, they decrease IL-6, they decrease TNF-alpha, they decrease TGF-beta-1, they decrease IL-8. They're just anti-inflammatory overall, and that's the pathway by which they work when it comes to acne. And finally, we have this study. Again, case report, I'm not the biggest fan. Case reports are around the middle of the pyramid. Still better than mechanistic studies though, but still not ideal compared to the top of the pyramid where you have randomized controlled trials. So in these case reports, you can tell that the total lesions and the inflammatory ones, they decreased after the omega-3 supplementation. Because like I said, mechanistically, omega-3 supplements, especially the long-chain ones, they decrease inflammation markers like IL-6, TNF-alpha, C-reactive protein, etc. And here's the before and after. Here's before supplementation of long-chain omega-3s, and here's after. Again, there's still acne in both. It didn't solve the acne, but it did make it look better. And according to the first randomized controlled trial that I showed in this video, you can expect around 33% benefit when it comes to your acne, because like I said, acne is a primarily pro-inflammatory problem, and omega-3s has an anti-inflammatory pathway when it comes to how they work mechanistically. They help neutralize free radicals, they improve omega-3 to 6 balance, and yeah, just a good supplement overall to use it, even if you don't have acne, because it's still beneficial to reduce inflammation if you don't have acne, and it has other benefits. For example, even if it's just merely the fact that omega-3 is an essential nutrient, your body cannot create enough on its own. And so you should supplement or eat fish. But eating fish is pretty expensive. And fish oil, just like with normal fish, you have the risk of heavy metal contamination. So I think the smartest play is to supplement with algae oil, because you'll have 0% of the risk when it comes to heavy metal contamination. Yeah, so basically 3 studies when it comes to omega-3s. Pay more attention to the first one because it was a randomized controlled trial, and that's pretty much unbeatable. The only thing that beats it is systematic reviews and meta-analysis of those types of studies. And so yeah, I did fix my acne, for example. It wasn't really super severe acne like I've seen some people have, but it was still pretty bad. And there's a lot of protocols that I did, not just omega-3s. Like I said, even in the studies, even in the case reports, omega-3s alone were not enough to fix the acne problem. And so there are multiple pathways that you should target when you're trying to fix acne. Don't just focus on the diet one, for example, or the supplements. You should have a holistic approach. You should have multiple ways by which you target acne, because it has multiple mechanisms. And yeah, if you want to know how I did it exactly and what I recommend, what are the best products, what are the best brands, what's the best dose, frequency, etc., you can join my community. It's in the pinned comment. And here's some of the things that you get. You get a section about diet. You get a section about hair loss, physique, skincare. With physique, I'm not on steroids, so it's not a super impressive transformation compared to my past self, which is the right comparison. I would say it's pretty decent. And I used to be underweight, and now I'm at a pretty healthy body weight and body fat percentage. But like I said, if you want all of these things, you can join my school community. It's in the first link in the description. As of now, it's the only way you can support my channel. So even if you just want to support me, that's basically currently the only way you can do so. And if you just want the information alone, you can join the community as well. And again, like I mentioned previously, I try to prioritize the top of the pyramid when it comes to evidence quality, to reduce risk of bias, to increase quality of evidence, and make sure that I'm not wrong when it comes to what I'm doing in my routines. So yeah, join if you want to support the channel, or if you just want to access the information that's there, that's a valid reason too. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, let me know if you like this format of a video, because if you do, I'm going to do more of them. But yeah, that being said, that's pretty much it.